បន្តទៀតនេះខ្ញុំសូមគោរពអញ្ជើញវាគ្មិនទី3របស់យើងគឺលោក Jiwan CHUNG ដែលលោកជាសមាជិកក្រុមប្រឹក្សាភិបាលនិងជានាយកប្រតិបត្តិនៃគ្រឹះស្ថានផ្សព្វផ្សាយអប់រំកម្ពុជា EBS ដែលជាគម្រោងសហប្រតិកម្មមួយរវាងក្រសួងពាណិជ្ជកម្មក្រសួងអប់រំជាមួយនឹងមិត្តកូរ៉េក្នុងការបង្កើតនៅប្រព័ន្ធផ្សព្វផ្សាយអប់រំមួយដែលគ្រប់គ្រងទៅការរៀនតាមប្រព័ន្ធពីចម្ងាយដល់ជាទូទៅនៅកម្ពុជាបាទដូច្នេះដើម្បីកុំឲ្យខាត់ពេលយូរ I would like to give the floor to Mr. Jiwan CHUNG. Please start the presentation. ButលោកJiwan CHUNG ប្រហែលជាដូចជាឃើញគាត់នៅក្នុងនេះដែរបាទដោយសារលោកប្រហែលជាកំពុងតែមានធរៈអីបន្តិចតួចខ្ញុំសូមថាយើងចូលជាមួយនឹងវាគ្មិនបន្ទាប់ដើម្បីទុកឲ្យបាទគាត់ចាប់ឡើងPlease, Mr. Jiwan CHUNG, are you? It won't let me unmute it. បាទសូមឲ្យ operator សូមជួយ unmute
ចាអាយដាមលោក Jiwan CHUNG គាត់កំពុងមានបញ្ហាបច្ចេកទេសបន្តិចតួចអញ្ចឹងប្រហែលចាគាត់
Yes, we can start hear you now. Yeah, we can hear you now, please.
Oh, I'm sorry, I was having a trouble unmuting. I apologize.
It's okay, please. The floor is yours.
So yes, distinguished guest, good afternoon. 안녕하십니까. My name is Dan. I am the representative of Educational Broadcasting Cambodia. I have been working on this project in Cambodia for 2 years, and it has been a spectacular experience. And I would like to give my highest respect and my thanks to the minister for his leadership at MPTC, and also my BR, Pudovasok, for implementing this wonderful project in Cambodia. And I also like to thank the Secretary of the State's Secretariat Rapid for standing shoulder to shoulder with me when the things were getting hard, and for his resilience and his kindness as I was taking my first steps in Cambodia. So this is the final year of this project, and this project is under the Ministry of Post and Telecommunication, and I'm here to talk about who we are, the student situation, and digital education solutions. Next slide, please. Next slide. So who we are the first ever Korea EBS-like entity under MPTC. Our project aims to set the environment for MPTC to combine education with technology into one standard operating procedure. And as you can see in the diagram, there are many components to the digital government transformation. And many projects starts with technology, and it stops at technology without understanding the user's feeling and attitude towards the functions that we're providing. So we want to avoid this. So we start with the user's experience first and work backward to the technology. And our partner, Korea EBS, has been sharing the system integration experience with EBC to expand remote learning throughout Cambodia. Next slide. So I want to show you this picture of EBS building. It's at Ilsan, Seoul, Korea. And that you may be able to compare the EBS and EBC. It has 20 floors. The first half of the floors are studios and broadcasting systems. The rest, 10 to 20 floors, are offices. EBS currently has nearly 1,000 staff. Korea EBS has 13 e-learning studios and 5 TV studios. It has a broadcasting transmission and can produce up to 20,000 episodes per year. And it is the one and the only educational broadcasting system in Korea. Next slide. Now this is EBC. So our aim for the project is to develop a facility capable of producing 4,000 episodes per year. To do so, we established 3 editing rooms and 4 e-learning studios. We also integrated 10 servers and 1.1 petabyte worth of storage at MPTC. Next slide. So each of our e-learning studios has an electronic touch screen display, roll-up green screen, chalkboard, 3 cameras, 3 intercom, projector speakers, 2 studio monitor screens, 2 times wireless mic. And our control room has an audio monitor, mixer, speakers, recorders, switchers, modular systems, multi-view monitors in operation, and the list goes on. So next slide. So you may be asking, well, what is the significance of this? We have many e-learning studios in Cambodia. Well, the significance of this project is integrating Korea educational broadcasting state-of-the-art hardwares and systems and softwares, and applying the EBS know-how in Cambodia. So our young EBC staff has been training to become Korea EBS-like professionals in the subject matters of broadcasting system, training, content production, equipment, and learning management systems and content management systems for the past 2 years. And most of our staffs are between the age 20 and 30. These young professionals have been training every day for the last 2 years. Today, they're the only EBS qualified experts here in Cambodia. Next slide. So here is the student situation. Now this information is directly from the Korea EBS Master Plan, researched by the Seoul National University. Next slide. This graph shows the breakdown of reasons why students drop out in Cambodia. The top 2 reasons are low income and family reasons, described as household chores in the graph. Students also drop out of school for academic reasons. About 1/3 of dropouts and 1/5 of at-risk students say they could not keep up with their lessons. About 20% of at-risk students and dropouts cite poor academic performance. According to the Seoul National University research, the percentage of Cambodia's population attaining at least grade 7 by age 15 in 2017 was 28%. The remaining 72% of 15-year-olds in 2017 were either grades below 7 or out of school. Next slide. This graph shows teachers' educational level working at the pre-primary and secondary school. Within the primary school community, with only 8% shown in the upper red circle of the teachers has bachelor's degree. 62% of the teachers have an upper secondary school, and 27% of the teachers have lower secondary school education. Let's look at the total figure at the bottom. Within Cambodia's, in this statistic, 21% showing the lower red circle only has up to lower secondary school. Thus, the Korean educational analyst from our EBS have concluded that the lack of qualified teachers contributes to a low quality of education. Next slide. So now we understand the challenges, and I want to share the online tool that we are currently developing. It is the learning management system. It is today's state-of-the-art technology to allow blended learning program at schools. And we have been working on integrating our learning management system and content management system under the WSO2 single sign-on. Once developed, MPTC will have a capability to integrate application programming interface and web services locally and across the internet under the central educational platform. Next slide. Next slide. So why are we doing this? The Korea EBS always explores new technology to enhance remote learning through state-of-the-art technology. Now, EBS started back in 1951 under the US aid, and the project was implemented by the PBS. So the birth of Korea EBS was during the Korean War. The war was a 3-year war between 1950 and 1953. About 5 million people died, and more than 100,000 children were orphaned during the time of war. Thus, Korea EBS began radio education. It was the state-of-the-art technology at that time, and it set a powerful remote learning environment for millions of Korean children. Next slide. Today, technology has evolved significantly, and the Korea EBS has always kept pace with this evolution of technology for the last 70 years. The birth of EBC was at the beginning of COVID-19 outbreak in 2020, and today we have the technology to employ blended learning programs for our students. Next slide. Now, this diagram is our EBC system infra architecture integrated at the MPTC data center. We took the first idea and put it to one side and came up with another idea and another to integrate the number of online services within our design space. Our LMS and CMS will serve as a central learning management system for students, teachers, government officials, and citizens nationwide. So we design our system infra architecture by asking these questions. Is it sustainable? That means that it has to be cost efficient. Thus, we decided on a free open source LMS and CMS. We also asked, is it scalable? Is it flexible? The information and source code must be easily obtainable without any proprietary rights. Ultimately, it is customizable to use it locally here in Cambodia. Next slide. Now, having said all these, we are ready to provide the EBS capabilities under MPTC upon the conclusion of our project. Ultimately, it is the people who will operate behind these systems. Digital government transformation will require massive training programs, and EBC will be fully equipped with capability to support this digital government transformation by providing online training programs to the mass involved with this transformation. Next slide. This blended learning concept diagram shows both the virtual and in-class environment. A blended learning program is a solution to curve back the dropout epidemic. It will also supplement the teachers with additional teaching materials to close the knowledge and experience gaps between the qualified and unqualified teachers. Blended learning is a powerful model connecting the students and teachers virtually. And blended learning also sets the school environment with massive open online courses for the students to repeat the class virtually with no attendance limit. The Korea EBS ever increasing popularity and demand were only possible because of its ability to provide state-of-the-art technology in the hands of the students and teachers as a tool to be educated anywhere and at any time. Next slide. Now, 2 years ago, when I was putting this EBC logo design together, I put the E, stand for education, under blue, and B, broadcasting system, also blue, and C, Cambodia, as red. So 2 blue represent the combining the education and our technology, educational broadcasting system together into one operating standard. So having said that, I would like to take some questions if there's time.
Thank you very much, Mr. Jiwan CHUNG, for sharing us the progress of the EBC project implementation and the perspective of how this amazing project can benefit the educational system in Cambodia and solve the challenges that we face. We'll have some questions at the end of the presentation of other panelists. Thank you very much.